Hey guys, it's Tone, and before we start this video, I want to give a special thank you to TechDweeb for allowing me to do a parody of him for this intro. Thanks, TechDweeb!
Hi, hello, my name is TechNerd, and today I want to show you my favorite emulation device I currently own. And it is nothing like the virtual console or homebrewing for your Nintendo 3DS systems. And no, it is absolutely nothing like the amazing emulation that is on the Switch, even though it is pretty cool. Today I want to show you my actual favorite emulation console, which is my old Galaxy phone from 2018. This thing is amazing.
Video games. This is going to be, honestly, a long video. I don't like recording my actual self in real life, to be honest. I hate the idea of having to be above covers while recording my voice because of the fact that my voice does not sound good on camera. But honestly, I really just want to show everyone what I have here with my Galaxy A10, which actually did come out in 2019. The 2018 part was a joke in the intro. But seeing this is amazing. The fact that if I just click system, I can see all the Game Boy games on here. I have played PSP on this phone, and PSP works perfect on this phone. And a lot of games do stereo, and you do have to do a little bit of tinkering, but I would probably love to do a second video on this phone about everything that I am able to do on it besides just Game Boy. But right now, physically, what works the best for this phone is the Game Boy, and it fits so well because the Game Boy is meant to be a portable system, and most phones are close to the shape of an actual Game Boy or Game Boy Color. As you can see, the icons right there, Game Boy Color. As you can see, a phone. It's a rectangle, like both of them. It fits perfectly. I'm going to be playing 3 games from each system here, and I'm simply going to review them with a voiceover because of the fact that it's going to be annoying to hear this and my voice at the same time, which is not going to mix well. This honestly has to be the most pocketable emulation system I currently have. The Switch fits well, but it's too big, and the 3DS is a big step up, but I have the new XL model, which means it pokes out a lot more than the other models, which it's still good, but the phone, oh, this fits perfectly. You can barely even tell. Look at that outline. It is the perfect on-the-go device. You might say protection is a filler category, but it's always good to make sure that your systems don't break. Now, if you look at the Switch, while it is portable, the Joy-Cons will break if it lands face down. They'll snap off, most likely. Now, you don't want that. But if you take the Joy-Cons off to make it more portable, like most people probably would, then you're left with the screen, which will hit the ground and will definitely shadow or crack a little bit, which is gonna suck. Next up is the 3DS, which has these little divots for the clamshell so the screens don't touch and don't damage each other. And this little line right here to keep them from damaging. And this one is perfect. The clamshell keeps it from breaking 9 times out of 10. I've dropped this thing many times and the screens have not broken yet. It's great. The phone is the best in my opinion. You get cases to protect your phone, and the case here divots the phone inside and literally brings the case out so it protects the screen. So if you drop it, the screen, 9 times out of 10, it's most likely not gonna crack. It's perfect, honestly, for what I'm doing. It's amazing. Next up, and our last category, is controls. And the Switch feels great. Feels like your Xbox control, feels like your Pro control, feels like your Wii U. It feels amazing. It is designed to have controls. And the 3DS is not as good as the Switch, but it's way better than the phone. I mean, look at this. You actually have a control stick. I have a second C stick because my model is 3DS. And you have a D-pad and your 4 buttons. And you, of course, for maximum gameplay, you have 2 shoulder buttons. This is great. It feels amazing. And what does the phone have? It's a touchscreen. All it has, it's flat, it's a touchscreen. You're gonna miss-hit buttons because there's nothing above it. It is not comfortable. It is not fun to play. at all. The form factor is definitely not there, and it's definitely just flat. The easiest but not the cheapest is an Xbox control, because backbones cost way too much. But why? The controls are not configured well. I mean, Lemeroid is great, but really you need to edit the controls. A and X do the exact same thing, Y and B do the exact same thing, so you can't jump with A and then use X to spin dash, you gotta reconfigure it, and the shoulder buttons do what the advanced shoulder buttons are supposed to do, and that's just weird. Honestly, Lemeroid is so good for your 2D retro consoles like this. If you play a 3D console, I would completely recommend something else than Lemeroid, because there's more customizable consoles out there that make the experience way better on a touchscreen than this. Right here, I'm playing one of my favorite Crash Bandicoot games, actually, XS, or The Huge Adventure in the US, where I live, but XS is very charming, because it is an extra small Crash Bandicoot game on the Game Boy Advance. So the name is got charm to it because of the console it's on. I love that. Now, here's my rating on the side. This game runs smoothly, and this game has the best gameplay out of all the games I've played on this emulator. And the reason is because of the way that Crash Bandicoot is set up. I don't need to hold down the B button to run, then switch over to the A to do a jump like in Mario. I can just take my finger off of the button and enjoy it. And the shoulder buttons really don't do much in this game besides slide, so it's honestly very pleasant to play, and I enjoy it. This is honestly one of my more favorite obscure games that I've played. This is the LEGO Star Wars game for the Game Boy Advance, and honestly, it is unplayable here. Not in the sense that, oh, it doesn't run at all. It's the sense that the controls don't work here. This one really needs a controller. It's a 3D space that uses the D-pad and has 8 directions instead of 4. And the controls use the shoulder buttons way more than, Crash Bandicoot did, or any of the so-called Mario games on here that are just ports of the original. It does not run good. Honestly, would I say it's a bad game? No. Would I say play it on Lemeroid? No. So for now, just don't touch this game. That's just my opinion. And the last game I'm playing for the Game Boy Advance category is Sonic the Hedgehog Advanced. Yeah, this one does not run well. I wanted one that just would not run well, and frankly, I probably should have played the Sonic Advance games, because those are amazing and run pretty well, but I needed something that didn't run well. I needed something that was good, I needed a middle ground, and then I needed something bad. This game just it's not good. I would rather play the Genesis version. I think the Genesis version would work way better than this. This one stutters, it slows down a lot, it's hard to gauge speed in this version, in my opinion. It's just not good. And honestly, I'm pretty good at the Sonic games. In fact, if you ask my mom, I've probably beat the Game Gear versions and the regular Genesis versions, but this one is just... honestly, I don't like this one. I can't play it. This one is horrible, it stutters, and it's just not good. I'm going to group Game Boy and Game Boy Color together. I would do 2 Game Boy games and 1 Game Boy Color game. Now, the thing is, this game also released on the Game Boy itself. This is Wario Land 2. Now, most people will say that the Game Boy Color was not a new system, and it was an upgrade to the original, and I would agree. Much like the backlit Game Boy Light, this one is just a colored version of the Game Boy. Here we have one of my favorite Game Boy Color games, Wario Land 2, and this game is great. It runs perfectly for what I want it to do, and the controls work with the touchscreen. I mean, there's no shoulder buttons, so I don't need to use claw method for playing games, and honestly, this one is just great, and I really recommend playing Wario Land 2 if you haven't. This game is amazing. Honestly, I would be a little upset at myself if I didn't add in the best on-the-go Mario game ever, Mario Land. And I stick by my opinion that this is the best game on the go for a Mario title. This game is absolutely adorable, and it's so cute. Look at the Goombas. This game has an adorable charm to it, and everything's so small and cute. It's not chibi, and I don't think chibi looks cute, but the way how everything is simplistic and just a little smaller than what it normally is just absolutely adorable to me, and I absolutely love this game. This is my favorite game for the Game Boy. And honestly, I wish I was born in the 80s so I could experience this on actual hardware. But sadly, I have to use my Game Boy SP that I got from a retro store. But honestly, I love this game, and you should too. The last game I don't have much to say about is the Donkey Kong game for the Game Boy. Honestly, it's a Donkey Kong game on the go, and it replicates the feel of the actual Donkey Kong arcade games, and honestly, I love it. There's not much to say about it, other than it's like the arcade game on the go, and that makes me really happy. I honestly bet you weren't expecting this. I am honestly really upset that nobody really knows or talks about Wario Land for the Virtual Boy. This game is honestly one of my favorite Wario Land games, and I've played it the most, to be honest. And it looks so good. Now, because I had to change the graphics from red to white, the screen cannot pick it up that well, and I apologize, but this runs so smooth, and it runs well outside of VR, and I'm surprised they didn't feel like releasing this as its own standalone game. They could have released it as something like Wario Land Back and Forth, because you go back and forth between the background and the foreground, and that would have been an amazing title for a re-release on the DS or a re-release on the Virtual Console or something like that, because look at this. You actually go from the foreground to the background. This game is amazing, and I love it, and if you can get your hands on this game, I recommend it. It's amazing. I absolutely love this. The idea of having Game Boy games on your phone that you can pull out and play wherever, and it just automatically has a save state for you to come back to, is amazing in my opinion. I love this little device that I've made, and I definitely want to test out 3D games and other stuff on it. Everything runs smoothly on here, and anything that didn't run smooth probably didn't run smooth on the original Game Boy Advance. And the best thing about it is that every game is going to be under around 50 megabytes, because the only ones that are about 50 megabytes are the 3D games, which is amazing. Now, should you do this? Yes, I recommend doing this on your own phone, because they take up no space, and it's so easy to do. It's just to pull out and play when you're in the lobby waiting for the doctor or the dentist, or you're in the line or something. It's amazing, and I'm so glad I did this. Thank you guys so much for coming down, and I can't get enough of this. I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey, whoa, don't click off this video just yet. If you want to check out my Twitter, the link is down there. And if you want to follow my Twitch, the link is also down there. Thank you to TechDweeb for letting me do a parody on him in the intro. And also, before I head out, I want to let you guys know, hey, check out this video that I made. It's really cool. Okay, I gotta go. Great oogly googly.